Randy, as you mentioned, just minutes ago, Minneapolis Council passed that budget, and it does mean that people will be paying more in property taxes, but it also means that there'll be more public services made available and public safety funding. Now, that public safety funding is what it really came down to here tonight when it came to public comment. Nearly 50 people came here tonight, strongly opposed, all of them, to an additional $8 million for police spending in the department, not for community violence prevention, at least violence prevention given far less. Take a listen.
To invest not nearly enough in Office of Violence programming is insulting, it's disrespectful, and you have an opportunity to make a different decision. Please do so.
I say that instead of spending your money on cops, spend money on your people. Think about that.
So quit policing your way out of a situation that you can address. Address the root causes. Cops ain't gonna do it.
So how did this public safety spending break down between the two cities along with those property tax increases? We took a look and take a listen. The Minneapolis 2020 budget totals roughly $1.5 billion and includes a nearly 7% increase in the property tax levy, which is the biggest increase in a decade. That translates to a $109 increase on city taxes for a median value home. That budget sets aside $31 million for a number of affordable housing investments. But it's the public safety investments that are most contentious. The mayor backed off a plan to add more officers, instead calling for recruitment and training of 3 police cadet classes, while giving nearly $3 million for violence prevention programs that focus on community approaches to reduce domestic violence and street crime.
All in favor say aye.
Aye. Over in St. Paul, the 2020 budget approved earlier on Wednesday totals $636 million and includes a nearly 6% increase in the property tax levy, which is actually the smallest increase in 4 years, but it will still result in a $91 increase in city taxes and fees for a median value home. That money will fund nearly $43 million in road and sidewalk repairs. It also includes new money to help combat a surge in homicides. After a series of community meetings last month, the city committed an additional $1.5 million for a community-first public safety approach, which provides funding for gun violence prevention programs, rec center and other after-school programs for kids, and community ambassadors.
Our interim city coordinator, I know you've been supporting the finance.
That public safety approach in St. Paul was still a point of contention for the council today. They passed this budget in St. Paul by a 4-3 vote, with some councilors saying that there simply wasn't enough there to address the public safety concerns with that surge in violence. Compare that to Minneapolis here, where the council just voted. It was a unanimous vote to pass the budget. Back to you.